Hello, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button again. I thought I would show 2022's Junk Journal July, which is my first one, and it's a different type of book. I've never really made a book like this again, although I think I've got some ideas of what to do with coiled notebooks so that you don't need a cinch to make books. I might do a video on that. I'm just building up my courage, I think, to do a tutorial, and that's why I'm doing these flip throughs. And I think it's interesting to look back. It's been really valuable for me because it's sort of assessed where I'm at and how I've changed. So this is it. This was 2 years into me junk journaling by this point, and probably really only 1 year of having that as my major sort of creative outlet. So this is it. It's made from a spiral bound book. So you can see here. But actually I took the pages out and I sort of cut them down close to the spine. It was a book of my daughter's that she just sort of scribbled in it when she was small, and I kept the very precious ones. They're in her memory box. But there's this book, so it's quite a nice hobbycraft scrapbook type situation. I heavily used a book that I found in a charity shop locally to me that was all about stamp collecting, and I was really fortunate. I still have some of this book. I've been hoarding it, so I still have some stamps and things. So this big image here is not a printable, it's actually a picture out of a book. We have magazines, clippings that have been backed onto book page, bee stamp that I talked about last time, another bee stamp, I think that's a Martha Stewart, and this I still love and use heavily. It's a stamp of a bulldog clip, and I think it's an anagraphist one. So again, magazine. Most of this is going to be magazines in that book. There are some pages I really love in this book, but I will warn you, there's some horrors as well. But there we go, all part of the fun. So I have on this page a big pocket, and this is where I sort of stored, remember I said I printed out Meg's things, larger and all different sizes so that I could use them throughout the book. And this is my contents page. A stamp that I found, a contents page in a book that I could put this stamp on. Now this stamp has deteriorated, I love it and I still use it now. And you might have noticed, let me find, because I've got my other books here, you can see it's sort of deteriorated. I think I need to stop using the block and start actually pressing the stamp down, but I actually still quite like it like that. But I do reuse things. More bits from the book in the background, and these are images from magazines that I've cut out. Again, see there's lots of the stampy bits from the book. That's a stamp star. I get a lot of my stamps from a magazine that I used to get. It's stopped coming to me, so I think I said that in the last video. I need to check my bank balance to make sure they're not making me pay for something I'm not getting. But I really value like that sort of, it was nice having once a month something was going to come through the door and it would have a stamp on it and I'd be able to use it, and I've built quite a collection. I've got stamps from various other places, but the main bulk of my stamps are from the free magazine ones. So again, the use of that anagraphist stamp. Made a little journaling card. Again, like I said, I rarely write in my books, I just actually like making it, the process. So you can see here how I've constructed the pages. This is the page from the book that I've just sort of cut down, and then I glued on a book page from the stamp book and just used like a strip that I've been ripping off. It's probably from the front cover actually when I've been ripping it down, and just glued that on the top to sort of hide the seam. And then the belly band is made up from a stamp, a bit of Meg's printable, and then a bit from the book, and then these bits are from magazines. So this is a bit of a fail, this next page. I only say that because it's too thick for the book and it's too heavy for the page, and it actually ripped the page. So I'm very careful when I open and close this book because of this, or I put this in this pocket. But this is a layered tag, and it's actually the inside of, I've got a cat, and it's his food comes in big boxes. We get them delivered every few months, and it's the inside of the cat boxes that just had a nice hinge, and I thought, oh, I'll make my layered tag with that. So again, it's a bit from the book. These are stamps onto old book jacket. That's really nice old vintage paper, so it makes the tickets look old. And then I think there's another ticket there. There's more tickets. Oh, and a little bit from a magazine as well, so some little bits tucked in there. This is an image from a local supermarket, Tesco, that we have in England. They don't do it as much now, I haven't seen it anyway, like a seasonal magazine. I think it was a spring one, and it was all Mother's Day flowers, and I just cut them out to make what would be a sticker, I guess. I try to shy away from single-use craft items for reasons of frugality, but also just like that impact of the plastic bits. I don't like lots of little bits of plastic that you just end up putting in the bin. There's lots of other reasons. If you use them and, you know, with abandon. It's just me. I'm not putting my my sensibilities on anybody. There we go. Don't like to be controversial. So this is a little bit like a little notepad. Again, that's from a magazine. Just some cotton that's been put together and sewn through, and these are bits from the book as well, just sort of torn down the middle. And then I think it is like did I sew it in like a signature? I did. So I sort of made another little book with images from magazines. It's a bit interactive. You can pull some bits out. This is stamps. That's an image from a book or a magazine. I think a magazine. Not all of the pages in the book were written on, so I used the blank bits actually in the book to back things. That's from a magazine, and then there's the stamped images. Oh, I like that little bird stamp. I'll have to find that. More magazine images, little bits to tuck in. Tuck bits in there, yep. So the stamps. Again, Meg's bit. I stuck it onto card, and then I sort of fussy cut all the little ripped holes just to stabilise it, but I quite like the top. This is a bit from the book and a bit from a magazine, just sort of put onto book pages. I think a junk journal's best friend is book pages, because you can make so many things with your book pages. You can see here, this is a bit from the book page. I've actually punched those holes in there to make it look like a giant stamp. And then this is music paper. And a bit from that piece that I've ripped off. I've just sort of carried it over. Now we turn it over gently. So the next page was transparency. So this is my transparent bit. I don't know if it looks, no, it doesn't look that great on the other side. It doesn't look bad. I probably should have like coloured that in black, and then it would have been a silhouette. That's what, if I was doing it now, that's what I would do. So the vellum on this is actually from a box of Hotel Chocolat chocolates. So at my then place of work, we got given masses and masses of chocolates, and when we gave the chocolates out, I went around and picked all the boxes up, and because there were these, I just sort of washed them gently, and I had loads and loads of vellum, and I actually used the boxes to store my ephemera that I make, which I'm sure at one point I will show you. It might even be the next video, that. So magazine images and the printable. So this is fold out, And the way I've done the fold out this time was I opened up this magazine image of a red work little house. And every sunset brings the promise of a new dawn by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Nice quote. That's also from a magazine, obviously. And this is sort of writing paper that, again, I've just glued onto the brown paper to make a page. And then I've glued a different colour. I think this is sort of the end paper from the original book onto this. Made an envelope with book page. I do so much. I've made some templates as well for my envelopes, because like once I get a shape that I like, I sort of make a template. And that's a stamp on another stamp, so it's sort of building it up, and it kind of overlaps as well. And then this is an image from a magazine, and again I've sort of tucked it so most of it's under and some of it's on the outside. And this is for symmetry, and the only thing that's symmetrical in this picture are the wands, but I quite like that. This little bit here, I don't know if you'll see it, if it'll pick it up, it says radiate positive vibes, and this I think it's too thick to be a magazine, so it must be from a book. So the next one is bouquet. This again is an image from a magazine, from an advertisement for a stamping company. And then I've put more images from magazines backed onto book page. I don't really do this anymore, but I actually think I should do some of it because it does look good. This is from a book with like Victorian ephemera, you know, like a photo album of Victoria. Put my teeth in so I can talk properly. Victorian ephemera. Butterfly from a magazine, a stamp. And then it sort of opens up. Again, like if I was a writer, I'd loads of space to write there. Will I write anything in it? Probably not. So this is wallpaper. Again, little watering can from the layered tag. It's just a smaller version of it from that supermarket magazine. This is from a magazine, The Window. And it's clashing patterns, so I just got lots of bits of material. So during the pandemic, there was a scrap store in the city that I used to live in, and it was closing down. Was it closing down? No, they were just laying stuff outside, that was it. And they had loads of sample books, and they were like, please come and take as many of these as you want because we need to get rid of them. And so I got about 8 big chunky sample books of material, and that was like 4 years ago, and I'm still working my way through them. And I use them in my slow stitch projects and my journaling. They cover journals. I will show you how I make my cardboard journals to make them look like sort of covered books. Everybody does them though, but I'll still show you what I do. So this is Time Out. I think it was just a nice easy one, not that any of my things are very difficult. Bits from magazines layered up with stamps. Cherish life, it says. Some bits stuck in from the stamp book. This is from a book about British wildlife, and it's a butterfly catcher with various caterpillars and their corresponding butterflies. And some of those stamped tickets on book sort of end paper. This is dyed. This is the dyed ribbon that I can't remember if I cut it up or if it was that small. I think I might cut it up to make the birds. It was like wire with birds on. And so I've overlaid it and put birds that I found in magazines and stamped images on there as well. But that's the only actual bit that's dyed, and it matched this fabric. And I think I got this in a swap. Oh, this is a page I really don't like. So, mirrored. Because I kept thinking, oh, I should do something that like was mirrored that way, and I was like, but I kind of did that with a symmetry. and I was just thinking it through, and I actually think it's really good, these challenges. Like I said, I don't think I could do one all the time, but it's good on occasions because it stretches you and makes you think about things. So I just basically got some foil from the kitchen and made mirrored pictures. So that's 2 stamped butterflies on a really old book that's very thick, like board, and that's sort of on this. And I think that's, you know, those socks you have in the summer that you wear in your trainers, it's one of those sort of cardboard things that you'd have them hosed while you buy them from the shop. So that's that. This is napkin, that's napkin 2. This is just a bit from that wildlife book backed with music paper, and that's just a bit from a magazine. Sort of pulled it all together, and then this bit needs backing, but it doesn't. So yeah, so it's not a page I'm very chuffed about, but it is what it is. So this one is nature, and it has sort of a hidden envelope that's there. So I think what I did here was I glued this bit onto this page, and then I cut round it and sort of slotted it in behind, and then made up the difference with just scraps from the bits that I'd ripped around, and then cut more moths out and butterflies, and sort of made it so that there's 3 butterflies on the page, and that was from the nature book. I don't mind that one. I like this page because I like my bees, but I like this page because I think I like the way the fabric's been used and the foil in the background. So the fabric again is from that sample book haul that I got during the pandemic. This is from the wildlife book. Something's rubbing off, I think, or it might be bleed through. Oh no, it's rubbed off from that, but I still don't mind that. Little wooden beads, a little tag. And this is one-sided apparently, so it's a double spread. And I think my interpretation for this, and this is what I like about these challenges, it's open to your interpretation, not necessarily what somebody else would see. So my interpretation of this is all one-sided, that this has a lot and that has a little. But I still like it. That's a nice spread. So this is a go-to palette, which is all the colours, because that is generally, I like colour. I know some people like making very neutral sort of books, or very grungy books, and I've tried it and I just don't like it. It's not my style. So I do like colour. I don't think I'm too mad with the colour, but I like the colour. So this is from a magazine. It's actually 2 bits from a magazine. This bit has been stuck onto the flower bit, so some of it is part of this picture and some of it's not. It's sort of been laid up. It's been a couple of pictures. And then we've got these book images of stamps. That's a really pretty picture of a rose, again from the stamp book, and one of those tags, and other just little stamp images tucked into make interesting things that are tucked away. But yeah, that is my go-to palette, all the colours. So this is cut out. I cut this bit out, and then I made a little tag from one of those stamped tickets, my Anna Griffiths, which I've doubled it. I've done that sometimes. I've actually made cover like paper clips doing this, so it actually is kind of like a bulldog clip, but it's not, it's just a paper clip. Yeah, so that's that in there with my vellum from the chocolate boxes, bits of magazines. That's a bit from the magazine that went with that I've just kind of put in that pocket. I don't think there's anything else in that. There we go. So this is tucked away. So it's got a couple of things that are tucked away. There's obviously these tags that have got fake flower leaves and green butterflies. And then And I like that. I'm not so happy about this. But it's just a little tucked away journaling spot. I think it's probably the way it was executed, because it's not cut properly. I do have punches, but I just don't tend to use them. I don't think I've got one that big though, to be fair. This is black and white. I really like this page. Again, it's images from the stamp book, and I like how there's like bits of ephemera, like this is a blown up bit of envelope, but I just like that you could make a journaling card. It's probably cereal packet. I collect cereal packets and hoard them in my little craft room. They are immensely useful. But that's black and white. Again, stamped images, bits from magazines too, but mainly stamped images and the things from the book. Focus. So our Mr. Darsky-esque person in the middle is the focus of all the stamps, and he is Charles Heath, engraver of the master die for the world's first adhesive postage stamp. There you go, fun fact. So blended, this is a big pocket. I think there's a pocket there, there's a pocket there, but it's kind of blended. I quite like that. And these are actually stamped onto, you know how you separate napkins to like do your decoupage? These are the leftover plies of napkins, and so you could stamp on them. You can even reverse it. So if you wanted to make an image reverse, I should have done that for the mirrored thing, but there we go, didn't think. Yeah, you can reverse it because it's just that, and then you sort of glue it on, and you're making your own pattern stamp napkins. So that's an idea. If you can't get hold of all these beautiful napkins but you've got some nice stamps, you could probably make your own. Maximalism. I'm not too keen on this. We had maximalism last year as well, so I just don't like it. I don't know what it is about it. I don't like it. It's a big pocket, but there we go. Paint splatters. I don't like this bit. I don't think I executed this well, and what I should have done, it's amazing with hindsight, is I should have just gone back over it. So this again is stamped onto a napkin. I should have either gone over it with pen, or I should have just stamped over it if I could have done. I quite like the way that's been done. There you go. Space to breathe. So sometimes I like this, sometimes I don't. I do look at my books. I like to sit and look at my books. I actually gave one to my mum, and she was saying to me yesterday when we were talking, she says, you know, I want you to make me another one of those books, because I like just sitting and looking at it and looking at the pictures and the old things, because I put loads of old bits and pieces in for her. So I think I might do her my Hometown's Wigan. I might try and see if I can do one with Wigan ephemera that I find online and do that as a Christmas project. She might watch this video, but there you go, she'll now know what her Christmas present might be, or might not be. There we go. So this is peaceful. I love walking around a National Trust garden or some woods. I think this is probably the National Trust magazine, actually. Yeah, it probably is. But there we go. Just two pictures laid on top of one another. And there's some gold paint splatters. I love a bit of gold paint splattering. Still now. So this is Memento. And it's a Cambridge bus ticket. I cannot remember why, so it's not a very good memento because I can't remember why, but obviously I had to use a bus ticket for something. Hopefully for something nice. It probably would be. Oh no, I remember now. This was after we'd moved. Was it after we'd moved? Yes, it was after we'd moved. So it was catching a bus into my old place of work into Cambridge because we moved out of Cambridge. There you go. Now you know where I used to live. This is stripped back, so it's just the sample of material that's has like a paper border around it, so it's just on the paper still cut out, and it was ticking. One of these books was a big book of ticking fabric. I was so excited about it. I still am. I've still got bits of hoarding. But there you go. Sorry about the light changing. The sun's decided to come out. But yeah, so then that's a image from a magazine, and this is a stenciled image that I'm not very happy about. I don't really like. So this is the packaging the stencil came in. The stencil came from a magazine, you know, that monthly magazine. So that's the packaging it came in, and then I actually used it with a bit of dotty. Can I lay my hands on it? No, but I will do it on a resource video. It was dotty card that during the pandemic I had to test every day before I went into my place of work, and you got given this pack with, like, it was almost like a mini science kit, and there was a cardboard stand to put your little test tubes of liquid that you dipped your sample stick in. And we that feels like a lifetime ago, but also like 2 minutes ago. But there you go. Penultimate, geometric. I think I'd run out of steam at this point because it's literally that. And the bees in the background. I could have put a bee on it at least, Lindsay. And a tag. And then the last one, favourite quote. And actually this still is my favourite quote. Is that if it can't be reduced, reused, repaired, refurbished, refinished, resold, recycled, or composted, it should be restricted, redesigned, removed from production. Pete Seeger. Yeah. That is kind of what my ethos is, and it is sort of what the vintage button is about, really. Is using stuff, being a womble. And that's my farewell page. This is a bit from a magazine, a bit from the printable, various stamping bits and pieces. That's the end. So we've got that. We have that one. Gonna end up with a little library of junk journal Julys, and then we have that one. So there we go. Junk journal July. I think this is the last one before I actually show you what I'm doing. I might do some crafting with you, and time myself so I don't overrun. But there you go. Please like, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things to help my little channel grow. Thank you very much. Bye bye.